The sun begins to dip below the Seoul skyline, casting long, amber shadows across the office, but the music in Jimin's ears is still pounding. His eyes are burning from staring at the blue light of the monitor, and his lower back aches from sitting perfectly straight under Jungkook's watchful gaze. The heavy office door swings open without a knock. Asterisk, asterisk, Yoongi, asterisk, asterisk, strolls back in, now wearing a leather jacket and swinging his car keys around his finger. All right, the audit is done. I'm officially off the clock, Yoongi announces, leaning against the doorframe. He looks at Jimin, who is still wearing the massive headphones, oblivious to his entrance, until Jungkook taps the desk. Hey, Jiminy, the club is calling. Tell your manager to let you off the leash. I already called a car. Jimin's eyes light up. He reaches to pull the headphones off, his playboy energy surging back at the prospect of an escape. Finally, Hayoung, you're a lifesaver. Jungkook was literally turning me into. Jungkook's hand drops onto the top of the headphones, pinning them firmly against Jimin's head before he can slide them off. The music is still blaring, but Jungkook's eyes are fixed on Yoongi. He's staying here, Jungkook says, his voice flat and final. Oh, come on, Kook, Yoongi groans, stepping further into the room. The kid's been working for hours. Look at him. He looks like he's about to vibrate out of his skin. Let him have some fun. Jimin looks between the two men, his heart hammering. He wants the club, the lights, the drinks, the attention. But the weight of Jungkook's hand on his head is making his knees weak. He plays into it, looking at Yoongi with his most pathetic, save me pout, eyes wide and shimmering. Jungkook leans down, his lips brushing against the outer shell of Jimin's headphones. He doesn't say anything to Yoongi. Instead, he speaks into the headset mic, his voice cutting through the bass in Jimin's ears like a serrated blade. Tell him you're staying, Jimin. Tell him you'd rather be here with me than in some crowded club with him. Jimin's breath hitches. He looks at Yoongi, then up at Jungkook. The challenge in Jungkook's eyes is terrifying. He's tired of the fun and the games with Yoongi. He wants total, undisputed priority. Jimin slowly reaches up and slides the headphones down around his neck. The sudden silence of the room is jarring. I think I should stay, Hayoung, Jimin says, his voice small but steady. He tries to regain a bit of his playboy smirk, but it falters. Manager Jiyeon says my performance isn't quite up to standard yet. I need more private coaching. Yoongi raises an eyebrow, his gaze darting between Jungkook's possessive stance and Jimin's flushed face. He's lived long enough to know when he's the third wheel in a very dangerous game. Private coaching, huh? Yoongi chuckles, shaking his head as he backs toward the door. Fine, don't say I didn't try to save you. Good luck, Jiminy. Try not to fail the final exam. As the door clicks shut, the atmosphere in the office turns electric. Jungkook doesn't move. He just stands there, looking down at Jimin. You really think you can play both sides, don't you? Jungkook asks, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. He reaches out, his fingers hooking into the collar of Jimin's silk shirt and pulling him upward until he's forced to stand. 1 minute, you're flirting with him for a way out, and the next, you're acting like my perfect little intern. I was just quiet, Jungkook commands. He spins Jimin around and pushes him toward the large, floor-to-ceiling window. Since you like being watched so much, let's see how well you can focus on me. While the whole city is looking up at this office, the city lights below are a blur of neon gold and cold blue, reflecting off the floor-to-ceiling glass. Jimin's palms hit the window, the cold surface a shock against his overheated skin. He's exposed, high above the world in his father's office, with nothing but the darkened glass between him and the skyline of Seoul. Jungkook steps up behind him, not touching him yet, but his shadow looms large over Jimin's reflection in the glass. Jimin can see his own face flushed, eyes wide, lower lip trembling. He looks exactly like what he is. A boy who played with fire and finally got burned. Look at yourself, Jimin. Jungkook's voice is a low vibration against his back. The playboy air. The one who thinks he can charm his way out of any consequence. Where's that smirk now? Jungkook's hands find Jimin's waist, sliding under the hem of his silk shirt. His fingers are like ice against Jimin's ribs, marking the skin with a firm, possessive pressure. Jungkook leans in, his chest pressing Jimin's front harder against the glass. He reaches around, his hand covering Jimin's on the window, lacing their fingers together and pinning them against the cold pane. You wanted to go to the club with Yoongi. You wanted to dance under the lights, where everyone could see you. Jungkook's teeth graze the shell of Jimin's ear. Well, here you are. The lights are all on you, but the only one touching you is me. Jimin lets out a broken, shuddering breath. The thrill of the height, the danger of the location, and the absolute weight of Jungkook's authority are finally too much. His cute defenses shatter. I was just joking, Jungkook. I didn't mean. Manager, Jungkook growls, his grip tightening. I didn't give you permission to use my name. Jungkook shifts, his leg hooking between Jimin's, forcing his stance wide. He reaches for the remote on the desk, and with a soft asterisk click asterisk, the motorized blinds begin to descend. Not all the way, but just enough to trap them in a narrow band of moonlight and shadow. You've been a distraction all day, Jungkook whispers, his hand sliding from the window down to the belt of Jimin's slacks, flirting with the staff, ignoring your work, making a fool of my discipline. You owe me a lot of overtime. Jimin, Jungkook pulls him back, away from the glass, and toward the edge of the massive mahogany desk. He lifts Jimin, seating him on the edge where the spreadsheets and files are still scattered. The very work Jimin had tried to escape. 3 days, Jungkook reminds him, his eyes dark with a hunger that has nothing to do with business. Your father is gone for 3 days. By the time he gets back, you're going to forget how to even look at another man, let alone flirt with one. Do you understand your new schedule? Jimin's head drops back onto the desk, his hair splaying over the legal documents. He looks up at Jungkook, the man who is currently dismantling his life and putting it back together in his own image. Yes, Manager Jiyeon, Jimin gasps, his fingers curling into the edge of the desk. Please just start the lesson. Jungkook's smirk returns dark, sharp, and entirely victorious. Gladly, Jungkook doesn't waste another second. He sweeps the scattered files off the mahogany desk with one ruthless motion, the papers fluttering to the floor like discarded memories of Jimin's former freedom. He steps between Jimin's knees, his presence so overwhelming that the air in the executive suite feels thick enough to drown in. You wanted to be the boss's son? Jungkook asks, his voice dropping to a gravelly whisper. He leans down, his hands bracing on the desk on either side of Jimin's hips, trapping him. Well, consider this your first performance review.